Have you ever thought, who the hell do I think I am to try something new? Enjoy the first episode of Happy Go Moody, where we explore that very question and give you a little peek on who the hosts Vivian and Natalia are. Hello, listeners. We are the Happy Go Lucky podcast with your hosts Vivian and Natalia. By the way, I'm Vivian. Hi, Natalia.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. It's our first podcast, so
I know.
thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. By now, I believe your ears have been catching up to our accent, and maybe it doesn't know where to place it. Well, it is because we are both from Brazil. That's right, the land of soccer, carnaval, caipirinha, and beautiful beaches. In spite of that, we are not your typical Brazilian girls. Well, not completely. Natalia is a founding member season ticket holder for the Atlanta United. I guess she does love soccer. We both like caipirinha and I don't know, Carnaval. Did I say that right? You're founding member season ticket holder for the Atlanta United. That's a long thing to
That's
say.
right. That's right. That's someone that has the ticket from the first season. Since the first season has the season ticket. But yeah, I do love soccer, and I do love caipirinha too. Although I don't drink really alcohol anymore.
Don't say that.
But
They are
I
gonna think we're boring. Oh, I drink it all the time. I'm actually drinking right now a big glass of
Irish
caipirinha.
coffee. I used to drink a lot. Okay, I'm not that boring. I'm not into carnival though, and I know you're not into carnival that much either,
Yeah.
right?
No, I have nothing against it, but it's just not my type of thing to do. I guess when I lived in Brazil, I remember going as a kid to little carnival parties, and I was always like, uh, just sitting in the corner and watching watching the other kids. I don't get
Okay, okay. I was not like that. I was dancing. I actually did like to go to carnival parties when I was little or a teenager, but now it's just I honestly I don't know how to samba. I don't know what to do. I'm not very good at it. My friends tried to teach me that in Brazil, but yeah, it was a big fail.
Oh,
I can't
so
do that.
interestingly enough, I know how to I know samba well. I can go and
Really?
like, yeah. I think I used to pretend that I was at the carnival in Rio when I was little and I would watch on TV. But then as I grew up, that was the only residual of carnival I had in my body. The rest of my liking for it was gone. But yeah, I can samba
Oh, so
well.
so let me try to understand. You know how to samba, but you didn't actually dance on the parties. And I, who absolutely cannot dance, would dance in the parties. Makes no sense.
Well, life is sometimes senseless. What can I say? How long have you been living in America? Because I know we lived in other places. So, how long have you been here?
Yeah, so I left Brazil when I was 22. And I went to Germany, and then I came to US in 2013. Well, 2011, but I just stayed for like 6 months. It's a long story. I even get confused on the dates. But I've been living in US like for good in Atlanta since 2013. So 10 years in US now.
I see. And you are
Yeah. What
in
about you?
Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes, Atlanta, Georgia since 2013. Well, 2011, 2012, I was here too, but for a couple months only. And all because of work. I know you've been here for way longer than that because I remember when you came here.
You do? You
Is that
remember?
right? I remember when you moved. I remember you leaving, and I remember I
Oh.
think you were crazy.
Yeah, for me, it has been 20 years living in America. I had lots of fun in New York City. That's where I met my lovely partner. Then we moved to Chicago. We moved to actually Montreal, Canada for a year and a half. And then we also lived in California. And now we are in Massachusetts. We are in the Berkshires area, and it's really nice and lots of mountains and lakes and fun nature things to do. To me, this is home for good now until, we feel like we want to move. or uh well, but right now that's how my heart is singing, and so is my partner. So, we bought a home recently, and we plan on staying here and enjoy. There's a lot to do, but we're enjoying the nature around us. Are you in Atlanta for good, or do you see yourself living in another state?
No, honestly, I think I'm here for good. I don't see myself moving, especially with my 5-year-old now. So I have a 5-year-old daughter starting school this fall, and I don't want to be, I think she needs roots and she needs a place. I liked that when I was a kid, and I want to give that to her too. So I
Hmm.
don't think we're gonna be moving. I see myself in Atlanta at least until she's like in college. Then I can think about moving
Oh,
or doing
wow.
something different. Yeah.
So you
But I think
really
I'm good
have
here
no
for,
desire. Like when you arrived in America, you were in Atlanta, right?
yes.
And you
Well, Alpharetta.
and
But yeah,
you
it's very, yeah, Atlanta.
and you don't have never had any desire to leave any other place in America?
Well, honestly, I think because when I moved from Brazil to Germany, in Germany I live in different places. I lived in North Germany first, in Rostock, then Stuttgart, Karlsruhe, Pforzheim, and I was just moving around so much that I guess when I got here, I was happy, to to find a city that I kind of like really had fun. And I met my husband here, and I really wanted to start a family, and I want to put like roots somewhere. So it's not I have no desire to move. I think sometimes, of course, I'd like, yeah, let's do something different, right? Because it's a little
Mhm.
boring to stay in the same place, especially for someone that is so used to move around. But with Emma now, it's easier to want it to stay because she has her friends. We have like a whole life here,
Yeah,
and I don't want to just leave that behind. At least not now. So that's why I say, like, when she's in college, maybe then I can think about going to a different city.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
And do you remember when we met?
Oh, I remember the day. I remember the moment I saw you for the first time.
We've talked about that before briefly when we were planning to do the podcast, and it was such a
Yeah.
surprising conversation because it was interesting to find out how we saw each other. So I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you first how it
Yeah, go
was to
ahead.
meet you. I don't remember the exact moment, right? But I remember already knowing you and thinking that you were really easygoing and fun to be around. And we worked together, and you were like the yes girl. Whatever was asked of you, whenever, by whoever, you always said yes. And I remember thinking at the time, like, what is wrong with this girl? Like, she never, she can donate all her time to people's requests. Like, and that goes like personal life and professional life. Like, she was to a fault, like someone who always said yes. And in part, I admire because I am a no person, everyone. If you, no, that's not quite true. But at the time, I was like, that the name of our podcast is Happy Go Moody for a reason. Okay. I'm the moody part of it. Natalia is the happy part of it. Not that I don't have happiness, but I'm way more moody. I was that teenager that wore all black and didn't want to engage with anyone. uh but I just, this screams at me when I think of you when we met. Like, you were always happy and always saying yes to everything. Like, do you want to work at night? Sure. Do you want to cover my shift tomorrow? Yes. Can you cover my other shift after the first shift? Yeah. You would always say yes to everything.
I know that that's sometimes a bad thing, but I actually, honestly, I have not changed that much, and I sometimes I wish I would change, but just today, my sister texted me, and she's like, "Hey, let's run 21 kilometers on Friday," and I'm like, "This is crazy! Who runs 21 kilometers? Are you serious?" I was thinking that it's like, how can she even think about running 21 kilometers? She's insane. That's like six something miles. So I went, got my phone. I was like, let me text her back, and I just texted her. Yeah, sure, let's do
Oh,
it. And I was like,
okay.
why did I do that?
So,
Why did I do
things
that?
haven't changed all that much. But listen, in these 20 years of friendship, I
Uh,
saw you evolve from a boy crazy teenager into a single adult that loved to party. Like when you in Brazil, you were so young, I was young, but you are actually a little younger than me. And I remember like you were in love with your boyfriend and you were like, super boy crazy about him. Then you moved to Germany, and I remember that you used to party and party a lot. And our conversations were mainly like how drunk you were when like you party and went to college, like right, like never slept. Uh, and then now here you are, like developed slowly into a wife and mother and a full member of your local community, like doing crazy uh community work, which I admire. I've always seen you as a positive person that whatever situation you're in, like it could be the shittiest situation, which believe me, I know you've been in super shitty situations throughout your life, but you always have a positive outtake, you're unafraid to try things and, a crazy, happy go lucky type of person who will sure see everyone's needs before your own needs.
yeah, yeah. That's again. It could be also like a bad thing, but we can talk about that another time. I'll tell you that I remember the first time I saw you, and I it was at work because we both work together, right, in the telemarketing company. So we're answering phone calls.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing you in your cubicle there answering the phone calls, and people had told me you were a little unapproachable, right? And you were always so serious. And I'm like, man, that girl, I want to be her friend, and your style, you have like this different style, and you're like super serious. And I remember I sat next to you, and I talked to you, and you were very, very into your work. You're so professional, and I really, really like that. And once we became friends, you helped me so much, to be professional and to take it the things like more serious. And I really always admire that on you. I think for everyone that is listening there, for you to know Vivian the way I do, she has like a great, great heart. But she's different than me, right? Because I'm very goofy and she's very serious about a lot of things. But she respects people. When you talk to me, we're like have fun. But if people see you, I think they would think like, oh wow, is she gonna is she like gonna bite me if I go talk to
Oh my God,
her?
Natalia.
No, that you're not like that anymore. But he was like that in the
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the in the telemarketing when you were a teenager. I think you were way more serious and not that you're mad or anything, but your style, you're not unapproachable because I approach you and we became good friends. But it could seem that way, and people actually saw you that way. And I know you're not that way, but and you know how much you evolve, right? And how different I think you are today in that aspect.
Mhm.
But you always had this great heart, and I really like that. And I know how much you really want to make this a better world and make this a better planet. And you see people and you're nice to people, and I just admire that on you. And I think you taught me so much, the person that I am today. And it's a lot of in me is because of you, because throughout our whole friendship, when I went to shitty times and I was even laughing about it, I know I had a person that I could call and I could talk to, something to help me get through the situation. You helped me through a lot of difficult parts and difficult situations in my life, and you're always there for me. You would not answer the phone for me when I need it,
Mhm.
right? And I think this is so good. And I could talk about serious things with you, and I could talk about goofy things with you, and you're always there, and you respected my opinion too. Where I think nowadays so many people are just they have their own opinions, and they're not open to hear maybe someone that is a little different than what they think. And that's a good thing. I see in you that you are very open to respect others' opinion because you understand we're all different. but at the end, we all want to just be better, right? And
Yeah.
that's what we're here to do. So I think that connects us in a great way.
And yeah, I want to add to that. I think that's why our friendship has lasted so long. Even though we were most of these 20 years, we were not even in the same country, you know?
No.
It's because of this desire that we both have to make a difference in the environment around us, even if it is in a small way. Because, of course, I think you had a very good point. Today, it's a different world where there's a lot of clash between people with different opinions, but um we can only gain from listening to each other. And me, as the same as you, I always felt like I could call you and I could count on you. My life has not been with such, like, Natalia is a magnet for odd happenings. Let's say
Mm.
my life is not as, like, I didn't have such weird experiences. I had some weird experience, but not as much. So, but I always felt like, oh my
Oh.
God, if there's someone who can understand what I'm going through right now, it is this friend, Natalia, and I'm gonna call her. And I feel the same way. Like, I always could count on you and talk to you. And it's been so long, I consider you like a sister. My husband, of course, doesn't know you as well as I do. And when Natalia visits, he wants to, like, serve her, like, oh, what type of coffee do you want? Like, would you like this and that? And I get mad at him and say, like, she's at home. Leave her alone. She can get her own coffee if she wants. Because to me, it's like, you're like a sister. If you come to my home, you're family. Like, I don't have any
I
issues.
get
Like,
it.
if you open my fridge, if you go through my cabinets, whatever. Uh, but I'm happy. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
happy we've been friends for so long. Hopefully, we can share some of our ideas and things that are important to us, and silly things, and, like, tragic things in this podcast, and people can uh connect with us in some way, I guess.
Yeah, we can share some weird experiences.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I'm glad we're doing this.
Me
I'm really
too.
glad.
Me too. This is our first episode, so bear with us, people. And this is like a uncharted territory for us. I have been a highly anxious, introspective for most of my life. So part of what Natalia is talking about that was a little bit, let's say, unapproachable. It's because I'm an introspective people, and it's just the way I am. But it doesn't mean much. So, in my life, even though I am an introspective, I had so many different experiences, and they taught me time and again that life is worth if you're willing to explore, to allow yourself to be serious, and to go into different situations that you just don't know what to expect of it. So I highly encourage you that are listening to us, like, try it out. The worst that can happen is you might fail, and that's not a big deal. Really, the world is vast, and there's so many experiences we can try. And the risk sometimes is all in our head. So here we are. We have no idea what we are doing, but we will sit here and enjoy a conversation between us. And if we happen to reach that one person that feels connected to us by listening, we can be happy about it. Because we are all here hanging out in this amazing planet, why not try to connect, right? Like, why not? Um, Now I sound like I'm an alien undercover trying to capture someone using this podcast as a bait. Trust me, people, I'm not. I'm normal. I'm human. Well,
No,
normal, I don't know, but
I
I'm
don't
human.
know. I'm not so sure about that. We're gonna have to uncover this alien thing. I'm not sure you're not, but let's see. No, I'm kidding. But maybe let's just leave it at that.
Okay, okay. Just a little hint. Let's just say one of us here is a little obsessed with alien life. I'm not gonna say who. Okay. Her
Who
name
is
is
it?
starts with Anne, ends with Atalia.
I'm just trying to investigate if Vivian is really one or not.
Well, if you don't know by
I'm
now,
kidding.
I'll say the lost cause.
I'm just joking.
So this is it for our first episode. Happy Go Moody. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and subscribe so you can not miss any of our chats.